Hey everybody, it's all college football all the time, and we're back for another preview and prediction. And this time it's going to be Ole Miss versus LSU in another game that could possibly be the match of the week. With how these score offense, it could be the match of the year, quite honestly. So let's get into this prediction. Okay, so LSU and Ole Miss have very similar offenses. In their yard total, it's just LSU is better at it. LSU over 190 yards rushing. Ole Miss, they're pretty good, but they have less than 150 yards rushing, which isn't bad. They both are over 320 yards passing per game, which is amazing. And then obviously LSU, they average 530 total yards a game. Ole Miss only 470. And they basically have scored the same amount of points. Slight edge to LSU. But Ole Miss has the way better defense. So, and they're in Mississippi. So, I guess logic would say that I would go with Ole Miss. I mean, but LSU has scored about 300 more total yards, more net passing yards, and a lot more net rushing yards. Almost 30 more first downs and less penalties. I will say, of the two teams, they've both kind of played. I mean, their wins are pretty similar. But I would say LSU, even though they lost by 21, has the better loss against Florida State. So let's get into the actual the stats of the players. Jaden Daniels, I'm very familiar with him. When he was at Arizona State, I'm an Oregon Ducks fan, so facing him in the Pac-12, he's a really good dual threat quarterback. It's too bad that the university didn't know how to use him right. And then another dual threat quarterback, and I think his name's Jackson Dart. I mean, one quarterback has 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, over 200 yards on the ground, about 1,300 yards total offense. Maybe a little over. And then Jalen Daniels, I mean, almost 200 yards rushing on top of almost 1,300 yards passing with 14 touchdowns and only 2 picks. He's really good. But I would say LSU uses more of a 3-man rushing rotation. A lot like what it looks more like a 2-man, though, and the third switches between 3 guys. It's like a lot what Oregon does. And then, obviously, Ole Miss, it's mostly just Ole Miss is mostly just Judkins. And then they have another guy who's second, and then a couple mixed in. And LSU definitely has the best receiver. Maybe the best 2 receivers between the two teams with B. Thomas Jr. and Neighbors for LSU. And then receiving, they have Watkins and Wade. And holy crap, T. Harris for Ole Miss. He has 5 touchdowns and he's only caught 8 passes. That means he's long balling it. He's their game break guy, their Tyreek Hill. Always getting the touchdowns. So who do I think is gonna win this game? Even though it's at Mississippi, it's at Ole Miss, I am taking LSU. LSU is the better team. They have one of, if not the best, defensive player that they're finally using right again. And LSU's offense is just so explosive. I think they have the better quarterback, who is actually good now. And I think they'll slow him down, but I don't. But I think this is going to be a track meet. This could be, and I think it will be, what everybody was saying Colorado versus Oregon was gonna be. I think LSU wins the game 38-35, and Jaden Daniels and LSU get a game-winning field goal as time expires on the last drive around that time. And I really hope you enjoyed this breakdown. If you like it, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next preview.